and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
What is this?
I have a problem.
It must be a big problem.
It is. All of the details are in the contract.
Wow. Wow.
I hear we're in the same line of work.
Is that so?
We both bring things back to life.
There's something in this church, Grace. In the walls. And it's trying to tell us something. Tell us something important.
What is that?
It wants to be free. It knows what you are, Grace. She will not stop. Not until it is free.
Let's go ahead and settle on set and keep it quiet in the house, please. We are rolling. Sound, roll.
Sound speeds.
Roll camera.
This will be 9 Baker Tick 1, the tail slate.
Camera speed.
We're rolling.
Action!
Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Paul Moore, and I am the writer and director of Unbroken. And Unbroken is a story about 3 distinctly different characters, Grace and Jacob and Reverend Abernathy. And they've all been sort of drawn for different reasons to this old, dilapidated church. And there is a mystery within the walls of the church that is slowly being uncovered. Grace restores paintings, and as she is restoring a mural in the church, it unleashes a presence, and a presence is brought forth with an agenda, which all 3 of these people, due to their relationships, are all pieces of this particular puzzle. Well, the inspiration for it was I wanted to do a movie about relationships, a horror movie. And don't get me wrong, a horror movie that is filled with all of the things that are in the genre contract for ghost films, supernatural films, horror films. But at the same time, I wanted there to be another layer to it, a layer that kind of went beyond the sort of boobs and blood part of the genre. Don't get me wrong, that stuff's great. I've done a couple of them myself, and I've enjoyed them. But it's, there comes a point where you kind of want to expand things and test the boundaries of the type of storytelling that can be done in that horror setting. So just trying to shake it up and bring something a little newer to the table. I've worked with virtually everyone on this film with the exception of Tony Todd. And we started kicking some names around to see who, based on their body of work and everything, would probably be the person that we wanted. And we all decided that Tony Todd was the man for the job. So we sent him the script, and did not for a moment think that he was going to come out and do this movie. Figured he had many bigger things on his plate. He was just finishing up, or just getting ready to do FD5, Final Destination 5. And he's just been fantastic to work with. He came to the table with a lot of ideas. He came to the table with a really firm grasp of the character and what we were trying to do with the movie. So I'm telling you, that's been one of the best working experiences I've had in the industry.
Hi, my name is Tony Todd, and I'm privileged to play Reverend William Abernathy in the movie Unbroken.
Here's, what is it about the script that attracted you to this project?
The story. I love the story. It has a great beginning, middle, and end. It has a wonderful arc for Reverend Abernathy. He's a man of mystery. You don't know where he is. on the spiritual plane. But at the end, I think he's kind of a reluctant hero, actually, with a bit of menace because he's finding his growing pains. He's being born into his final passage of manhood. He's a man who's been traveling from congregation to congregation with a history of restoration, fixing up buildings and falling apart, making them suitable for habitation again with a joyous choir and congregation. And when he does that, he moves on. He has a spirit of wanderlust, and which is his vanity plate, his vanity template, which prevents him from really being completely 100% spiritual. But on this day, in the circumstance of this movie, it may be his final outpost, or it may not.
My name is Sunny LaRose, and my character's name is Grace, and she is a recovering gambling addict, blackjack to be specific, and she kind of made a mess of her life. She was an art restoration specialist. She moved to New York, met her husband there, and just, had a good time until things started to kind of fall apart, and got too involved in the gambling. And she has a son, but he's been taken away from her. His name is Maddie. And she has come to the point in her life in recovery where it's time to pick up the pieces and make everything about her son, because she wants him back more than anything else. And she has to go through 2 years of GA and get her PIN. And she has to get a job that provides enough means to support her son. And she hasn't been able to prove that yet. So she takes this job that the lawyer Noah provides for her. And it seems a little shady, but she's at the point in her life where she's desperate to get her son back because her ex-husband, is about to leave and resettle in Germany with him, and she doesn't want him to do that. So she takes this job, and despite the fact that there's a lot of weird things going on, she just stays, and of course, ultimately pays the price for them. So.
Thank you. And that sounds like a very real role. I don't know a whole lot about this movie yet, so I'm learning every time I do an interview with someone. So what can you tell me about the movie? Because it sounds like your character is a very real person. Do you relate to her, and what do you think of the situation that she's being put in?
I do relate to her because I think everyone's done something in their life or had something they wish they could go back and not have done. And I think she has a lot on the line as a result of that. And it's all very, very real and easy to connect to. And what happens in this movie is that because she has so much on the line and so much to risk, she makes big risks and sticks it out. And she also makes connections. The connection to Abernathy is a very spiritual connection for her because they seem to be very similar people, whereas the connection with Jacob is a much more earthy connection that she has, because she's been pushing everything else away from her in her life. No other men, no crazy partying or anything like that.
My name is Jacob in the movie. My name is Jeff in real life. And Jacob is kind of a lost soul. He went through a traumatic experience and has, I don't know if he's lost his faith so much as he's turned his back on the faith that he knows he still has. And he struggles with that because he knows he still has that faith, but he doesn't want it because he's angry at God. Right now, Bill Abernathy, who is the pastor, who's in charge of restoring the church, has hired me, Jacob, who's his good friend for 10 years, to come in and oversee that. And in the midst of that, we've discovered an old painting on the wall of the church. And Bill wants to have it looked at to make sure that there's no problems with historical landmarks or anything, that he's not going to break any regulations so that he jeopardizes his ability to renovate the church and have it as a sanctuary. So he brings in an expert, Grace, to oversee this restoration, and my character Jacob strikes up a relationship with Grace, and In the midst of all of that, there is a presence in the church that is infiltrating itself into the life of Bill Abernathy, Pastor Abernathy.
What is your character's name?
Steve! Let me start again. My character's name is Noah Fuller. And Noah Fuller is a lawyer who, in sort of a mysterious way, pieces together the logistics of the main character finding her way into this crazy world of the church. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So that is the role of Noah. Now, what can you tell me about the movie? Because I have not seen a script or anything, so...
It's a ghost story. And Hollywood loves a ghost story. And I like to work. So, bam! Together. Yeah, it's work. It's awesome. What was the question?
What is the movie about?
What was the question?
What is the movie about? Synopsis.
The movie is about a woman trying to get her life back together and gets hired to do a job by this lawyer. Making it about me. I read the script. It's always about a lawyer.
So you are
who
the
vanishes after the first 2 scenes and leaves the rest of the movie to this woman who, trying to get her family back together, she restores artwork, and she gets hired by this church to restore a fresco that's found on a wall underneath old painting. And basically that's it. And there is horror and ghosts abound through the history of this church, which dates back to the early 1800s, where murder and mayhem and ill-gotten things took place.
Paparazzi looking over your shoulder.
Pull a muscle in my neck doing that.
I don't have to wear shoes.
Dude, back the fuck off, man. I ain't just coming in the club, man, okay?
Yeah.
Seriously. Like that shit out my fucking face.
I bought it. Sold.
You got what you need.
Hey!
How you doing, Courtney?
Good, good to see you.
The ghost herself. Miss Courtney Jane Hogan. That's not her middle name. I don't know what her middle name is.
The only person who doesn't have lines here is Jake. Who do you play, what you're playing, and what you can tell us about it about the movie?
I'm playing the character of Evelyn, who is a person who is actually living back in 1845, I believe. Or no, 1862. I lied. 1862. Like, you didn't think that was gonna happen. She, was brutally murdered by a pastor at the church who was pregnant at the time, which kind of starts this entity that grows and changes throughout the years and is trying to carry out the things that she couldn't accomplish in her own life through people who are actually living on Earth.
Give my regards to Broadway, remember me to Herald Square.
What is that green thing attached to your face, and is that something we're going to see in the movie, or is that going to be replaced by some effect?
It will be replaced by some effect. It's a chroma key green mask that they'll go and make, as they were describing this to me earlier, like a 3D image of my head or whatever. So as my face moves in the shot, you know, so will the image that they paint on, probably frame by frame, to the film.
Cool.
And it'll be sort of like hollow and dead, and maybe bugs crawling around and stuff.
Sexy. Bugs in your face.
Which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drink the wine of their drink offerings. Let them rise up and help you and be your protection.
Yeah, I had to add it.
Rise up and help you be your protection. Sweet.
Do you know what that means?
What though? What's going on? I've seen videos like this on the
Oh my god, if it looks like that, I'm not doing it.
The insidious nature of what you are, and with that seductive undertone.
Yes, no, I'll find it.
All right, I was about to say.
Where's the best spot to make that happen?
Can I see down there?
Just like hold your hand as you float on down the aisle.
What?
You want tighter, Paul, or looser?
Let me see the hand.
drink the fat of their sacrifices, and drink the wine of their drink offerings.
Called you on it.
You put this over too to protect its pants or anything else that might drip on.
Mormon, yup, I love it.
Okay, so where are we punching in for this, and how close are we getting? Because this is the length of my tube.
I'm really tight.
Real tight. Which year is it now?
This one, I believe. Paul.
Do you want to show him in the frame?
Paul Moore.
Or just like right here?
Yeah, if you want.
It's gonna be this.
Will I be able to stand like right here?
I can make it so you can, I think.
Alright, because this is about cool. And then when it's in your ear, you could just cheat a little bit like that, so it'll spill over and not in, but it can fit in.
Here's that.
And did you guys get an establishing shot of
Action!
Let them rise up and help you, and be your protection.
My name is Ryan Bidney, and I am the special effects coordinator. The scariest story so far, for me as an effects artist, and for the first time being able to work with an actor like Tony Todd, you know, he's been real cool about all the different effects that we've had to do. I've consulted with him before everyone, but last night when we did the kill scene, where we were pumping the blood out of the neck wound as a child walks up and puts his hand on his face, you know, it was probably one of the coldest nights already, and the blood mixture itself, which is liquid based, it was just Arctic, freezing cold. And I had to sit there for 5 takes and just watch him freezing, looking at me like he was not having fun. And really, you know, he was totally cool with it, but that was probably the most terrifying part for me. Smile for me one more time. See those black teeth. Awesome.
I'm Nicholas Alexander Cavanis, and I play a ghost child.
Very nice. What do you think of the role so far? Do you know what you'll be doing when you get down there to the set?
I don't know what I'll be doing.
You're just kind of ready for anything?
Yeah, just whatever.
And then you're gonna walk up here. And this guy right here, this is Tony, right? And Tony's gonna be sitting there. And you're just gonna touch him on the shoulder, right? Okay?
If you can touch my shoulder, that is.
Flashing.
There you go.
How you doing? What's your name?
Me too.
What's your name?
Nick.
Nick. Tony, we're gonna make some magic. You ready for that? You ready?
It is exciting, isn't it?
This big.
It's
You
exciting.
look great.
Mm-hmm.
How do I see so many of those kinds of cameras at school, everywhere?
Well, I'm just gonna say one thing to her. When you get here, I'm gonna say the truth. Am I therefore not your enemy because I tell you the truth? Where is it? And you touch me. Okay? Got that? Am I therefore not your enemy because I tell you the truth? Where is it? I'll even turn towards you. No, don't let me touch you. Where is it? Then touch me. You got it?
How about you just hold your arms up?
I don't know if that one's gonna quite work. I don't know if I can make that work for him. I'll cue you with my arms. How about this, if I do this?
How about that?
Okay.
So when he
When I do
touches that pole,
then touch me.
then you touch him. All right?
Okay?
Can I just get a look at the
Great
back
job,
of the arm real
Nick.
quick? The arm that you're touching.
That's called adaptation. To make it all work. You see what I'm saying? You gotta make that work. FX. FX. See, that's another thing. That's another thing. See, every department bleeds into the other.
My apologies, man.
That's right.
Scene 36, Charlie. Take 1. Marker.
Action.
True. Am I there not?
do you do for this movie?
I am the director of photography.
Yes.
And the editor.
Director of photography and editor.
Yeah, last night we were in here doing this shot, and it was like, well, we're running out of time, we got to do this shot, we're on the glide cam, it's going. And we're in the middle of a take, and all of a sudden the lights start to go, going up and down, dimming, coming back up, and we're like, what the heck was that? Everybody thought, oh my God, it's a ghost. No, it was the Jenny dying, because we were almost out of fuel. So we tried to do another take, the lights almost came down, then we had to hurry and load everything out, because Jenny was running out of gas, and we were going to be out of, because there's no power in the church at all. So no ghosts, just lack of diesel fuel.
He's talking with some mic, man's put it on. I didn't ask him to scratch my chest.
Paul, are you happy with what you see?
I am happy with what I see.
We ready to roll on this?
Oh, we got oh, that's you. Never mind.
What?
Yeah, so we got to watch.
All right, go ahead.
Action.
And guilty!
You cannot save him. His pain is too deep. He is full of it.
I failed you, Jacob. I'm so sorry.
Maple cookies.
Yeah, this is what we do on the set.
Get the cocoa back.
Yeah, cookies.
That's how we roll in
They're
people,
little different shapes.
Really?
I can't even tell what shape that is.
This is the making of a horror.
Ah, gingerbread. This is week number 2, and you're on a completely night shoot right now.
Night shoot.
How are you doing with the hours, and is it affecting your sanity?
Oh, I'm doing a lot better than I have in the past. Usually my brain stops working about 4 o'clock in the morning. Oddly enough, that's when Paul usually says my acting gets better.
Really? Maybe it's a demoralized thing.
He says I'm less, I'm less in my head, which is like the actor's worst nightmare, is that you're thinking too much about the process. When you act from instinct, that you do a lot better job. And he says, you just kick over into instinct when you're so tired. So.
My name is Shelley Ilmansey, and I'm a freelance makeup artist, so I'm heading up the makeup department, other than special effects, just kind of assisting them when they need it, but taking care of making sure Sunny's beautiful all the time, and Jeff is handsome or haggard, as the case may be, sweaty, all that. So just taking care of faces. Okay, so here's a good gross scene story from a makeup artist perspective. So we were shooting a scene with Sunny and Tony.
How are you doing, kids?
Good. He's pretty much ready.
All right, let's send him on up.
Just have your lips on. So we're shooting a scene with Sunny and Tony, and he's coughing up blood. I am. He's coughing up blood. She's being held captive, and he's coughing up the blood and talking to her. He's got a mouthful of this blood, but it's actually not blood. It's the black oil stuff that we've been using on set. And so he pours this stuff into his mouth, and he starts quoting some scripture at her. And we started with over her shoulder into his face. And I had her makeup. She's looking pretty good at this point. Had her makeup done, and he's spitting this black oil all over her face it was a mess, complete mess.
So the ooze is just like spraying all over my face, and when we went to get it off, it kind of dyed my chin blue.
So by like the 5th take, I'm like, why did we shoot her first? But anyway, so we had to take a break and redo it, redo her makeup, and the thing is that I don't even know how much of the black oil on her face we're actually gonna put in the story, because continuity issues.
Tony was wonderful. He's so patient, and he's had to sit through blood a couple of times now, and last night he had to literally sit in blood, so he was really good about that. But he had this entire rigging up on his neck, and we had to fake the whole letter opener thing, thank goodness, because I really didn't want to hold a sharp letter opener near his neck. But the first time we did it, it didn't really work properly, and I think it was pinched a little bit, so there was a very small amount of blood. The second time he did it, he moved his neck ever so slightly, and the blood just erupted from his neck, and I was just showered in blood. I don't know how we're gonna recreate the whole look of that. We finished the scene and I looked around and everyone was like, "You look awesome." I was like, "Great."
What is it like working with Paul?
What is it like working with Paul? I want to read his autobiography one day because there's something that went on in his deep, dark past which has shaped him into the strange, bizarre man he is. He's a lot of fun. He's a filmmaker. You know, he's a filmmaker without ego, which makes it a blast to work with. He likes to tell stories, and he lets us be a part of them, which is great.
What draws you into working for Stormcatcher Films?
They will hire me. He's a wonderful, wonderful person and a great director. And I love working for him. And Scott too, the whole crew. They typically hire the same crew back and a lot of the same actors back, and it sort of gives the set this homey feeling, like a home away from home.
We try to maintain a sense of family. I mean, we work together, we play together, you know, we just have a great time all around. Because honestly, there ain't enough money in this to do it if it's not fun. You know, any independent filmmaker out there will tell you, unless you've hit it big, there is 100%. The only reason to do this is for the love of the craft, the joy of making the movie.
I mean, I've only been here one day, but it already feels like family, which is what film does, because we're all just this group of dysfunctional gypsies who have come from other projects and are going to go to other projects in the future. But for this moment in time, this is the most important thing in the world for us. And in order to survive, we have to rely on each other like a lifeline.
The whole crew here is fantastic. Because sometimes, you know, you get to that position where you have long nights and just a hard time. Everyone gets tired and irritated, but the truth is everybody here has a really good attitude. They're awesome, awesome people. Camera's awesome, grip and electric is awesome. Everybody's so nice and fantastic, and they just really want to make a good movie. And that's actually one of the first times I've been on a set where everyone has just been, let's do this.
I'm Angela Roth. I'm a freelance makeup artist, and this is my first movie set, and I'm here to head up hair on the movie Unbroken. One night we were all in here dancing to 1999 Prince. I just walked by him and he started calling me Strawberry Shortcake, and I didn't get it until he pointed out I have pink in my hair, and so he just started calling me Strawberry Shortcake.
Alright, give me your face. Give me your face. Really? Yeah. Well, they did a test about that. Shall you dance? Don't tell me. Hey, look, it's Apollonia right here. Oh yeah. It's really challenging. Can we put some dancing in the movie?
You know, we can turn this movie into a musical.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. It's like painting a squid. There's like stuff moving all over the place. Music isn't on. It's like.
Oh, now we got each other on tape.
It's the $100 camera versus the $1,000 camera. This is no alcohol.
Independent filmmaking.
Yes, let's talk about the difference between independent films and major motion pictures from an acting standpoint. Kind of what some.
Shirt? Did you change your shirt yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, sorry.
That's
Oh,
the
there
world of
is additional
independence.
shirts. Thank you.
See, at any point, you may be redirected from what you're doing to do something else because you're always thinking about 2, 3, 4, 5 things at once.
We're multitasking right now. I'm distracting him. He's supposed to be learning lines from the script right now, and I'm just pulling him aside.
Just pulling it all up my head.
Yeah.
This movie
I need a 20
is,
on 10, please.
well, a little filmmaking moment for you there,
And I'll
guys.
cut this part.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that. All right.
Independent moments, just like that. Okay, so we have one example now, the spontaneity. Anything else you'd like to add to?
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. I just came off a big budget. I was doing Final Destination 5 up in Canada. And it's had something like north of $50 million to shoot. And we're shooting in 3D on that. And they work at a pace of about 2 days for 3 pages. Here, we're putting out 8 pages per day, you know, straight time. And that's pretty much, it's the time factor. But usually, as an actor from the independent standpoint, you get to work with hungrier directors, new directors with more of a vision. Yeah, because I don't need to kiss nobody's ass with Paul Moore. Man, dude, without him bellying up, I would just be like a midget. I'm standing on the shoulders of billions.
Tony Todd, a midget. If you want to stand up for just a moment, let's see how tall you are.
I am a midget. See, without a great role, I'm nothing but a little man.
At the end of the day, creative people are storytellers. I mean, in the media, you don't really choose the medium chooses you. Maybe it's music, maybe it's sculpting, maybe it's writing, maybe it's film, maybe it's theater, whatever it is. And ask any of us, or in any of those fields, or any of us on independent film sets. We're here because we love it, and because we feel this need to get these stories out into the world. And that's kind of where I'm at, and I think a lot of people on the set are at, is that they would not rather be anywhere other than here. And as far as the vision goes, that's what I want to do. I just want to keep making movies.
Well, thank you so much.
As always.
I much appreciate it. Yeah. And thank everybody for
Hey, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching. Enjoy Unbroken. Tell your friends. Tell somebody.